Baseball is back, and at Team Toyota, savings and selection are back too. With tons of new Toyota SUVs, trucks, and hybrids to choose from, and with our lineup of over 200 certified used Toyotas, you can find the right fit for you and your budget. Plus, our service and collision centers are here to get you back in the game in no time. Visit one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or online at teamtoyota.net. How we doing, everybody? Welcome in. This is Phillies Talk, presented by Team Toyota. I am McKercher, once again joined by Sean Kane. Kaner, I am very, very happy that we are a Phillies Talk podcast and not a Mets Talk podcast right now.
Cow. What a disaster.
Shout out to the Brewers. Shout out to the Brewers and shout out to the Rangers. My goodness. Man. What a huge weekend for the National League East. Here, as we sit down here on August 10th, Sunday, the Phillies just sweep their way out of Texas, their first sweep in a long time. Then the Mets get swept in Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee's just a wrecking ball right now, and we'll talk about them a little later. But Edwin Diaz lets up a walk-off home run in Milwaukee. The Mets now have lost 7 straight games. The NL East lead is 5.5 games. The Phillies are 7-2. Since the trade deadline. All is well in Phillies land.
Yeah, all is well in Phillies land, and all is just falling apart in Mets land. You mentioned 7 in a row. They have 1 win in the last 2 weeks. They've lost 11 of 12. 5.5 games is the margin now. That went from like being tied, being a half game either way a week ago to 5.5, which is now a couple games, increase from the previous biggest lead the Phillies had, which I believe was 3.5 earlier in the year. The Mets are falling apart, and all year we've been saying, it's going to come down to the end. You know it. I think Ben said that at the end of the broadcast on Sunday. I kind of said to myself, is it going to come down to the end again? Because right now it is, it's trending that the Phillies are going to run away with this thing. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of baseball left. You don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but good weekend for the Phillies in more ways than one, extending that lead, and they're really in the driver's seat now, man. 5.5 is a pretty big lead as we make our way into mid-August.
They are 19 games over 500 for the first time all season. As we sit down here on August 10th. It's crazy, man. And I can't believe that they have a 5.5 game lead. Like, I thought this, and again, there's still a month and some change left to play in the season, which is also a crazy thought. I can't believe how fast the season is going. But to have a 5.5 game lead with this, I mean, I started thinking about champagne showers in the locker room for the first time this season after Sunday's game. We'll start on Sunday. Just a great weekend in Texas. Obviously, you and I talked about it. It was well known throughout the Phillies world that they struggle down in Arlington. And they come through on Friday with a huge win. Then Saturday, just kind of a grinded out win. We'll get to the bottom of the lineup coming through. And then Sunday, same exact thing. Zach Wheeler. I said it was a decent day for Wheels.
It's a good word.
Yeah, just decent, right? And we're concerned about his velocity a little bit. He's not concerned about it. We heard from him and Rob Thompson at Phillies Postgame Live. Check that out on YouTube if you haven't seen that yet. But they don't seem too concerned. Rob doesn't seem too concerned. Zach made it a point that, everybody kind of goes through this season or goes through a season and has their struggles.
Right.
But the velocity was down big time, especially on the home run in the first inning. It was an 89.4 mile per hour cutter. His normal average velocity for that cutter is around 91.9. So to see 89.4 and then to see 94 on its fastball was a slightly concerning, but all in all said, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. I mean, we'll take it for Zach Wheeler.
Yeah. Obviously gets his team the win, but yeah, it's concerning the velocity. I mean, 2 miles an hour is a big deal. Like, it doesn't sound like it's a whole lot, but across the board, we talked about it in the post-game show. Every pitch across the board was down at least 1.5 miles per hour, sometimes 2 miles an hour. He kind of changed up his arsenal a little bit. He threw a little more of the sweeper, less of the fastball, a little more of the splitter, less of the sinker, just because he wasn't throwing the fastball and the sinker as hard as he typically does. I mean, he's typically up 96, 97, and he was 94, 95 today, which is a big deal for major league hitters when that drops in velocity that's significant. So concerning, but yeah, after the game, he said, I felt perfectly normal. Been dealing with this shoulder for a while. It just got to the point where we wanted to get an image of it to see exactly what was going on and how we could treat it. Rob Thompson said it'll be key tomorrow to see how he comes out of it. How he feels tomorrow when they wake up in Cincinnati will be a big deal. hopefully on track to make his next start, which would be in DC later this week. But it's concerning just because he's Zach Wheeler and the velocity is noticeable. Command is noticeable.
Yeah.
Like, he walked a couple more guys today. He's been hitting guys with pitches these last handful of outings. So obviously you're going to need him if you're going to want to accomplish your goals. You're going to need him as your game one starter, your ace. So we'll see. We'll see how he comes out of it. But yeah, he's right. Like, guys do go through periods where their arms are dead, and they put Wheeler on the IL a couple of years ago, right around this time in August, because he was dealing with a little dead arm. So not unheard of, but certainly something you like to see him work through and see how he comes out of it.
And I think, we said it all season long. We said on the last podcast that I'm not concerned about Zach Wheeler getting out of this. We know he will. It is interesting to see. Rob Thompson alluded to after Sunday's game that they're going to see how he's feeling tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Could there be an IL stint for Wheeler? Just because I know he said the shoulder's fine. I mean, coming from his words, we know how Zach is. Is there more concern about the shoulder? Like, could we see a small IL stint? I mean, we saw this get pushed back. He was supposed to start on Friday. He gets pushed back to Sunday because he was dealing with a little shoulder soreness.
Yeah.
Could we see a possible IL stint come Monday morning?
Yeah, I think it's not like out of the realm of the possibility. Maybe not Monday morning. Maybe like they see how he feels and then give him a day or two. And then if it gets to be midweek and they're like, okay, well, we need to do this. And I don't think that would be the worst thing. Like, obviously you don't want to see that happen.
Right.
But where they are in the season, where they are in the division, you can afford to maybe skip 2 Zach Wheeler starts. Nola's coming back hopefully in a week or so. He's pitching again on Tuesday in AAA, and then there's a chance that could be his last rehab start, and he's back in the rotation in 8-9 days from now. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. You certainly don't want to see it, but like I said, they did do that a couple of years ago, and it all ended up fine. They put him on the IL. They kind of said it was more of a maintenance rest type of deal, and could have been going through the same thing, or at least similar to what he's going through now. So you hope you don't see it. If you do, I wouldn't think it's the end of the world, and maybe it works out just fine again, and he comes back and he starts ramping up end of August into September, and obviously most importantly October.
I would be pretty happy if they can just kind of ramp that up there and see how it is. Speaking of ramped up, we'll get to some of the guys in Lehigh. A lot of Phillies and a future Philly on Sunday in Lehigh Valley. We'll get to that towards the end of the pod. But then the offense comes through on Sunday. Timely hitting again, Saturday and Sunday, really.
Yep.
Bryce comes through with an RBI double that needed. I mean, we were getting a little concerned. I mean, Patrick Corbin was dealing for the first 3 innings.
3 innings. Yeah.
And it's funny, you and I were talking about it. So what? So now the Phils are 23-22 in day games this season. They were 22-22 coming into the season. They're 45-27, I believe, at night games.
Right.
So it is kind of.
They're making it at night. They're doing well at night. They're doing good at night.
They're making them at
but
night.
Not to interrupt, but the day game, it's a noticeable trend that it's 500 in day games and significantly over at night.
Also, if you got that reference, shout out. They're making them at night. Just night. But seriously, I mean, like sluggish. They have been sluggish in some of these day games. It's one of those things that I don't know if that's the veteran-led team. Some of these guys are a little older. Maybe the bounce back time is a little different. But I mean, it is just to come through. Bryce comes through clutch in the 4th inning with an RBI double, and then Sosa comes through, Weston Wilson comes through, and then a little sac fly in the 9th inning from the guy that's been swinging the bat really well. So Weston Wilson, though, I want to hit on him real quick. He's been 385 since he's been called up. That was about a few weeks ago, I guess.
Bone went on the IL July 19th.
Yeah. So we're coming up on a month for Weston Wilson, and he's been swinging it well. And it's one of those things where you don't really see that when it's come, but 385 is a significant number, and he comes through to give the Phils the lead there in the 5th inning after Sosa's home run ties it. Just timely hitting is really what it comes down to. And the bottom of the lineup, I mean, we saw Rob Thompson, and I want to preface this by saying, let's start to trust Rob Thompson more. Obviously, he's been going with his outfield platoon. He's been having different players. Nick Castellanos got the day off the other night. Then the outfield that he rolls with today, Casty in right, Bader in center, and Weston Wilson in left field. Then obviously Saturday was a lot different with Kepler in right. I believe Bader was in center, correct, on Saturday.
Center Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been interesting. And then obviously we didn't even hit on Bader making fantastic, very casual home run robbery that would have tied the game with a home run off Corey Seager's bat. But what have you seen from this little like outfield platoon and the bottom of the lineup coming through?
Yeah, getting back to your point on Rob Thompson, I mean, it is time to trust him because he's juggling this outfield situation the way he's doing it now. And he's hitting all the right buttons. He plays Kepler, which I was kind of surprised to see Castellanos out of the lineup on Saturday. Kepler gets the start, big 2-run double. Marsh obviously is making it hard for him to take him out of the lineup at all the way he's been swinging the bat. You want to get a look at Bader. You want his defense in center field. So it's a juggling act right now in the outfield. And today I thought with a lefty on the mound, Patrick Corbin, that maybe Stott sits, Sosa plays second. You see Kemp at third, and then left field. If you want to give Marsh a day, you put Wilson out there. But Stott's in the lineup at second. Sosa's in the lineup at third. And then sure enough, Stott, big rally, big part of that 5th inning rally, singles, steals a base, scores on the Wilson go-ahead RBI single. Sosa obviously in the lineup again, big home run. So yeah, he said before Sunday's game, Rob Thompson, that it's a good problem to have. The guys are making it tough on him in terms of the lineup every day. Because Stott's starting to swing it now. Sosa's always kind of being ready for his opportunities, and he was again this weekend. Kepler, we mentioned, he's starting to hit the ball hard, starting to elevate the ball a little bit. So yeah, it's a juggling act, but he's doing it well. Bohm's on his way back, and that's I'm guessing that Wilson will go down when Bohm comes up. I guess there's a chance Kemp might, but I'm thinking Wilson goes down. Yeah. Thompson mentioned that Kemp's going to be in the lineup Monday in Cincinnati. He talked to him about that prior to Sunday's game. So a lot of moving parts. A lot of guys on their way back, or at least a couple guys on their way back. So we'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, for the job Rob Thompson's done, hitting all the right buttons over the weekend, I mean, it was pretty obvious that he's got a pretty good grip on this.
He does. And it's so funny because, we've seen when this team's been struggling, it's like, Rob, what are you doing? And especially with the outfield platoon. And we even on the trade deadline special pod, we were kind of like, oh man, this is going to be an outfield platoon. But I think he's kind of getting a gauge of what this team is going to be going forward towards the end of August, into September, and obviously into October. And right now, what I'm seeing is great. And I think we've talked about it, the Max Kepler effect of maybe getting DFA'd, maybe just not fitting in. But I think he's kept his way on the team the way he's been swinging the bat over the last week. Obviously, last week at home comes through big time with a homer on Wednesday night. And then Friday comes through, Saturday comes through, didn't play on Sunday. But I mean, I just had the stat. So Paul Casella, our good buddy, had the stat that he hit. Kepler's hitting the ball hard on Saturday. He had a 102 mile per hour fly out, a 96 mile per hour base hit, and a 99 mile per hour double, all off Jacob deGrom. Since 2019, only players to hit 3 balls 96 miles per hour or plus off of deGrom in a game are Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Kerry Carpenter, and Max Kepler. Yeah. And Max kind of alluded to that in his post-game press conference on Wednesday, when he's talking to John and T-Mac in the booth. He's just been kind of getting unlucky in terms of he's hitting the ball hard, but he hasn't been finding a lot of grass. And if he can continue to hit the ball hard like he has and produce the way he has, I mean, it feels good. And the other guy, that, as you mentioned, Bryson Stott, I mean, since the birth of his child, he's been 333. Yeah. Since July 23rd. A lot of
extra base hits this past week or so.
A lot of extra base hits. He finishes Sunday 2 for 4. Obviously playing great defense too. Are you pleased with Stott's
no doubt,
kind of coming out to a point, I guess, because we've been criticizing him a lot lately in the pod, and now to have this, I mean, this is where you need these complementary guys to come through, and they have.
Yeah. And, the defense has never, for Stott, gone away. Which to credit to him, because it's got to be tough when you're just beyond frustrated offensively. But he goes out there, doesn't take it in the field with him. And the offense has been good, and he steals bags. Like, if he would just get on base a little more, he'd probably end up with 30 stolen bases again.
Well, yeah, because he led to that run. He stole second, then scored on the Wilson RBI. Base hit. Yep.
So yeah, Stott's been great. I do think when Bohm comes back, you're going to see more of a platoon with Sosa and Stott at second base, which I'm fine with because Sosa's producing too. That could be a really good platoon. They're both good defensively.
Correct.
Now, obviously, you can give Bohm a day and put Sosa at third and keep Stott in the lineup a little bit more, or shift some guys around. But I think primarily Sosa and Stott sharing some time at second base here once Bohm gets back is fine. I think that's a good situation. But yeah, no, I think all these guys, top to bottom. And the one thing I did want to get back to, I found it very interesting on Saturday to see Kepler and Wright and Castellanos not in the lineup against a right-handed pitching, because Nick has not hit right-handed pitching very well at all lately. Didn't look particularly good against Corbin on Sunday, well, obviously a left-hander, but the right-handed issues with Castellanos are becoming more than a trend. Then maybe do you think about here and there, giving Kepler a start and making that more of a common thing. Obviously, Nick's not going to like it. Nick doesn't like coming out of the game at all. He certainly wouldn't like not playing against right-handers here and there. We'll see, but it's for the good of the club. They're playing good baseball. They're winning. And frankly, their best defensive alignment in the outfield right now would be Bader in center, Marsh in left, and Kepler in right. Those are the 3 best defensive outfielders. Do you do that late in games? Do you just do it more often, period? It's a tricky personality with Nick. There was the run-in earlier in the season in Miami, but Rob Thompson, I don't think is going to let that impact decisions moving forward.
Did it shock you that he wasn't in the lineup on Saturday?
It surprised me.
Yeah. Okay.
But I thought about it. I was like, all right, well, if you're on all these platoons, like why not give Kepler a shot in right? Because you wanted to get Bader in the lineup. And again, Nick hasn't been hitting right-handed, pitching very well at all now for a couple months. So it's not like unheard of. It's not like, I don't think it's without merit.
Yeah, he has a 257 against righties this year batting average. He's 291 on base percentage.
Yeah,
against right-handed batters this year.
And I think like the last couple of months he's down like closer to 200. I think he started off the year a little higher against right-handed pitching.
But that is concerning. It's just crazy that. Oh, imagine telling us a week ago. It's like, you know what? Maybe that outfield is kind of the way that you spread it out there with Marsh in left, Bader in center, and then you have maybe Kepler in right, and then all of a sudden, where does Nick Castellanos fall in this? I still think Nick Castellanos.
Oh, he'll play a lot.
Oh, 100%. Not saying that at all. It's just I think it's interesting when you're like, oh wow, is all of a sudden Nick kind of getting the short end of the stick sometimes? He's going to have his big moments in October. He always has.
Yep.
Not worried about that. It is just interesting thought to kind of think about moving forward as August and September roll on here. And
it does say something too that all these guys can play multiple positions defensively. Marsh can do it center or left. We see Marsh play right before. Bader can play center or left. We've seen Kepler this year alone play left, center, and right. So that speaks to the versatility a little bit, and that's only going to come in handy whether it's late inning shuffling or just generally getting guys in the lineup at different spots when you can. It's a big benefit to have that versatility defensively.
And now we'll just transition real quick and we'll wrap up the outfield conversation. I mean, there's not much to say other than how impressed I am of Brandon Marsh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the guy has just produced, and it's been very under the radar. Beginning of the season, obviously, he had his struggles. Then he had the IL stint. He was 0 for 29.
0 for April.
Yeah,
didn't have a hit in April.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And people were talking about how, obviously, like, maybe he didn't fit in. He could have been a trade candidate if anybody would have taken him. And now, I mean, dude, they talked to him. It was funny. T-Mac and Ben in the booth alluded to on Friday, like how many times they've talked to him post-game because he's had a big game every day. In the last 15 games, he's batting 429.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. How under the radar, and I would say how underappreciative we are of Brandon Marsh.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about the depths of where he's climbed his batting average to. 0 for April, goes on the IL at the end of April, mid to late April, comes back on May 3rd. I don't have I know he was 0 for 1 on Sunday. I don't have the updated number in front of me, but as of Friday night, since May 3rd, he was hitting like 314. And that's like 75, 80 games.
Yeah, he was batting 130 on May 3rd.
Yeah. And now he's up to 260 something, 270
276.
276. Wow. I thought he was like 270. So yeah, there you go. Like, he's raised his batting average that significantly in the last 3 months. And he's hitting for power now. Obviously the season he's still in single digit home runs, but I feel like in the last like 7 to 8 games, he has like 4 home runs.
Yeah.
He had a couple in Chicago and that kind of kickstarted it. And he, had one Friday night in Texas. He had a couple during the homestand. But yeah, and defensively, he's been better. I mean, he's always been a good defensive player. He's kind of had some issues here and there, but he's been really consistent defensively too, to go along with his production at the plate. So yeah, Rob Thompson saying he's like, Marsh makes it tough to take him out of the lineup. And he's a great guy to bring off the bench. Like, we saw him do it tonight. He had a big sac fly, on Sunday, coming in to, spell the 9-hole Wilson there against the right-handed pitcher. So a lot of things he's doing well. And he's a big part of their success moving forward, no doubt.
You ready for this? He's slugging 950 in August right now.
Yeah, he's a bunch of home runs. Like, it's crazy.
That's insane.
How many home runs does he have in August?
He has,
or at least at the end of July.
He has 2 in August.
And then what did he have in that White Sox series? Didn't he have a couple at the end, right before the deadline?
Yeah, he did. So that White Sox series, he had, let's see here. He had 2 in Chicago.
Okay.
July 29th and July 30th.
So he's got 4 in the last like 2 weeks.
Yes, correct. Yeah, 2
like
in August 5th and August 8th.
You questions like, does the T-Mac put him on the spot? Tom, how many home runs does he have? That's me in this podcast. I apologize.
Don't apologize. I mean, it's great. And hey, you got those 2 in the booth. You got these 2 in the pod. We're living well. So yeah, it's crazy when you have all this, not really bad talk about the outfield, and then for them to come through this weekend in Texas was huge. They come through in a huge way, just timely hitting, like I said, and we're moving on. All right, Kaner, it's Birds season officially as August rolls on. As we sit down, we got Eagles open practice. They have the first preseason game under their belt. Tanner McKee looked good. I don't know about that, but we're ready for it.
We're ready. Football's coming, man. Football is coming. Kansas City, Philadelphia. I mean, we've seen it in the Super Bowl a couple times. Maybe we'll see a third installment of the Super Bowl between these two this year. But should be fun, man. Should be a great trip. Should be a great season. I'm really looking forward to the Eagles. And it's like you said, it's going to be here before we know it.
Yep. The Birds are taking over Kansas City with Philly Sports Trips. Join NBC Sports Philadelphia and Philly Sports Trips for the ultimate fan experience. Lock in your spot today and be a part of the Birds takeover in Kansas City. Book now. Mark your calendars. We're heading down to the shore for a Phillies watch party. Join us in our favorite spot, Sea Isle City, on August 12th to watch the Phillies face the Reds with raffles, special guests, and more. This one should be fun, huh?
Oh, man. Down the shore, Phillies baseball, things heating up. And you can't go wrong in Sea Isle, Spence, at least from my experience. I don't know if you could say the same. But
I can definitely say the same.
Always a fun time down there. So absolutely, I'm in, man. Count me in.
Yeah, mark your calendars. They'll be coming up here on August 12th. Let's transition now to, I just want to hit on Cristopher Sánchez real quick.
Yes.
I mean, the dude is continuing Cy Young level. I mean, he's 11-3 now.
Yep.
Coming off his start on Friday. Again, just another ho-hum start where he ran into a little trouble in the first inning and then got through that smooth as you know what.
Yeah.
And he finishes 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks. Now, like I said, he's 11-3. The ERA is 2.36. But it was funny. I saw a tweet from one of these guys, like a national writer about it. And people have been giving him so much credit, finally, on the national level. But his changeup this season, it's a 371 OPS allowed, which is lowest of any pitch in Major League Baseball. So his changeup specifically. It's a plus 11 run value in pitchers counts, most of any pitches in MLB. And he's thrown it back-to-back 275 times, and hitters are 9 for 100.
Wow. And the whiff rate's almost like 50%. I don't know if you have that in front of you, but I know it was like 49% at one point, which is basically half the time guys swing at it, they don't even make contact.
Yeah.
Let alone weak contact or whatever else.
You can argue that it's the best pitch in baseball.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, it's right
just
up
on those advanced stats and metrics alone. I think it's maybe his best pitch in all of baseball and any major league pitcher. And we've hit on him previously just in terms of his rankings in Major League Baseball. And it's just impressive. And I hope that he continues this and we can talk about Cristopher Sánchez possibly winning a Cy Young. Obviously, Paul Skeens is there. But it would be how crazy. It's just wild.
And he's put himself in the mix, certainly. And that change up. And then he has that sinker going that gets, the ground ball outs, and that's coming, hard and in. And then he can feather that change up away to right-handed hitters. And because obviously teams are stacking their lineups against him with righties. They don't want lefties up there facing him because lefties have no prayer. But no, his change up's ridiculous. His stuff's ridiculous. His makeup, like you said, gets in trouble. He doesn't panic. He kind of just goes through it. And again, Friday night, just to tell you how good he is, like when you said, let's talk Cristopher Sánchez, I was like, he was okay. But you look at his line, like 6 innings pitched and just kind of gives his team a chance to win. I think there's 17-6 in his starts now.
That sounds right.
So he's just consistently excellent. One of the best pitchers in baseball, like we've been talking about. We've talking about what great value he is in terms of his contract. With Wheeler, who knows? Like obviously we're confident he's going to come back, but right now you probably feel best about Sánchez. And he's just been, outstanding really with a few minor hiccups. Like, that's the thing. Like even his bad games, he gave up like 4 earned runs in Chicago. And I was like, but he never has that game where he just gets completely rocked. Yeah. Gives up 6-7 runs.
It hasn't happened. Yeah. It hasn't happened in 2 years.
Which is crazy. But
because that's what in the 5th inning there on Friday, the Rangers load the bases. He runs into trouble. And I wasn't worried whatsoever. Yeah. I felt so good that I was like, you know what? If this is Jesus Luzardo, if this is Ranger Suarez, even if that was Zach Wheeler with the bases loaded right now, I'd be like, oh man, please just get out of it. But with Sánchez, I was the most confident I felt watching somebody pitch with the bases loaded, and he gets, I forget who it was, but he popped out to Marsh and left, and that was the end of the inning. I just didn't have any worry about that. And I think that speaks volume to how improved Cristopher Sánchez has been over the last 2 seasons, including this season alone.
Yeah, no, agree. Completely agree. You always have confidence in him to kind of find his way out. And, a little credit to Luzardo because he had a similar outing on Saturday where he had a lot of traffic on.
Yep.
Leadoff guy kept getting on. He pitched through it, gave his team a chance to win, went toe-to-toe with DeGrom. Real Muto helped him with a couple of caught stealings. But, I kind of had my doubts about Luzardo going into that game. I'm like, oh, boy, especially after they beat him 9-1 on Friday. It's like, you feel like the Rangers are going to come out and swing the bats a little bit, and he held them down, man. 3-2 win. In fact, he only gave up 1 run, right? Yeah, because Strom gave up the second run. Yep. So just really good by him. I know he's been up and down. Who knows what we'll get his next time out, but that was a big spot for him Saturday night against DeGrom. I mean, looking at the series, you thought, okay, that's probably the one game where they're probably not going to have the edge, and he gave him a way to win, and they won that game, and they ended up getting the sweep. So I thought that was a big performance by him in a big spot.
It was, and hopefully that can keep kind of going forward as this team. Because right now the confidence level, my confidence level is sky high with this team right now.
Yeah.
It was funny. We were joking around on Sunday. They were down 2-0 and Wheeler didn't look great. And it was like, oh man, okay, this kind of stinks. And we've talked about how they can't close out sweeps, but they finally do. It's their first sweep since June 13th and 15th, or through the 15th, I should say. Just a good all around weekend. The last thing I want to hit on before we get to the Mets and the guys in AAA today on Sunday, it's just this bullpen. I mean, the perfect stretch for Johan Duran ends, unfortunately, allows his first base hit.
A lot of base runner. Unbelievable.
It's just that guy, man. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Send him back. Bring back Abel and Taid.
Sure.
Guy gave up a hit.
Guy gave up one single hit.
Yeah.
But, God, it's just the confidence level with him. And we saw on Sunday where it's for the first time basically since I've been working here and really starting to lock into the Phils, so that's 8 years now, is that it's the first time where I'm very, very, very confident in the back end of that bullpen.
Yeah.
Wheeler goes 5. You throw Banks in the sixth, who he's been in the trust circle all season long. Mm-hmm. You go in the 7th with Strom. Romano was warming up, and I was like, oh, please don't do that right now.
Right.
Strom comes in, shuts the door like he did. You mentioned he let up the home run on Saturday, but he shuts the door on Sunday.
Yeah.
Kirkering comes in with a nice, easy, I think he threw like 12 pitches, whatever it was, in the 8th. And then it's just like this guy comes in the 9th, and you're like,
yeah,
see you later.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic. And in the bullpen, I think their ERA, their bullpen ERA is 2.04.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
since the
deadline.
Yeah.
And if you get Kirkering since May is in the 1s. Banks you mentioned, Strom in the last couple of months is in the 2s. It's funny you're starting to see like the defined roles. At least you did this weekend. Strom in the 7th, Kirkering in the 8th, Duran in the 9th. We'll see how they mix in Robertson and how Banks is used, how Alvarado's utilized. But it's kind of like, for at least during the Rob Thompson era, for the last couple of years, I know Ricky has talked about it, Ricky Bowe a lot. Former reliever, how like guys like to know their role. Like I know if we're up, I'm going to get the 8th inning. I'm going to get the 9th inning. And Thompson, maybe because he hasn't obviously had the dominant closer like he has now, but he's kind of adhered more to like the pockets of the lineup. Like, okay, it's the 8th inning and our best reliever, but he's lefty and there's lefty bats coming up. You're going to pitch the 8th and then we'll figure out the 9th. But now it looks like, Rob Thompson's going old school, taking a page out of the Charlie Manuel, JC Romero in the 7th, Brian Madsen in the 8th, Brad Lidge in the 9th. But it shortens the game. Like if you got guys you trust back there, and Kirkering in the 8th inning is excellent.
Perfect.
So right now it's like a 7-inning game.
Yep.
Strom is when they're ahead, and Strom has been solid. You mix in Alvarado at least for the rest of the regular season. Robertson, the bullpen it looks a lot more rosy than it did about a month ago. And you're like, oh my God, who are they going to get outs with out of that pen? And the starters don't have to go as deep. And if Wheeler goes 5, obviously he prefers to go 6 or 7. But if he goes 5, it's not like how are we going to get 12 outs out of this bullpen. They went out there. They didn't walk anybody, the bullpen on Sunday.
It's crazy.
4 scoreless innings, no walks. They all gave up a hit, but
fine.
Never like, oh boy, we're in trouble.
Yep.
It's been
like
great,
lazy little ground balls too.
No, it's a nice mix they have out there, and Rob Thompson will keep pressing all the buttons. But it's interesting to see the defined roles of the 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy over the weekend.
And that's to finish my point. It's like that 2022 World Series, where the Astros had Abreu, Presley, and I forget who else they had, but it was just like, oh man.
Yep.
Like if you're down in the 7th inning, you're toast.
Yeah.
I forget who's their 7th inning guy. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember I know who you're talking about. Obviously Hector was on that team, but he wasn't one of those guys.
Yeah, no, but I forget his name. But it was
M, I think.
Yeah.
Thinking of.
But then
Montero.
You're
I knew
so locked in.
there.
Yeah, that's no research either. That's right up the dome there.
Yeah.
But Montero, Abreu, and Presley, and it was like, good luck. And now I feel that same confidence with Strahm, Kirkering, and Duran.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, and hopefully they can continue that, because we saw Saturday and Sunday, it's a 1-run game going into the 9th inning. In both games, obviously the Phils get the run on Sunday in the 9th inning, but it just was like, okay, you know what? I'm confident as hell.
Yeah,
they're going to keep it moving here.
Agreed.
And like I said, if that's what it is going forward, let's move. So
no doubt.
Let's real quick recap some guys in Lehigh Valley.
Yep.
Wasn't really a great day.
Not for Andrew. No.
Not for Andrew and for Bohm. So Alec Bohm gets to start at third base in his first rehab start. You did mention David Robertson. He joined the team on Sunday. Obviously, we didn't see him, but we could see him in some of those roles. You could flip-flop Banks. You could flip-flop Strahm with Robertson. Don't look at those AAA numbers. I mean, he struggled a little bit in his I think his last 2 outings in Lehigh Valley, but now he's up here. I wouldn't look at those too much. I think his stuff was there.
Yeah, that's all
a little bit of trouble.
We're concerned about. Yep.
I'm gonna put my confidence level in David Robertson at like a 7 right now.
Yeah, and it's good that you're not counting on him. You're like, oh my God, come save us, David Robertson. Like,
yeah, the 9th.
You got 4 other guys you saw on Sunday who you probably trust more than him. But if he can take down some outs in the 7th inning or the 8th inning or whenever.
Correct.
So I'm sure we'll see him in Cincinnati. I'm sure we'll see him a couple times during the rest of this road trip.
Yep. But Bohm on.
Bohm was 0 for 4.
0 for 4. A few ground outs, but made a nice play in the field.
Yeah. Hopefully no ill effects of that rib injury. And you would think if he feels fine, I mean, maybe one more day, maybe he rejoins him in Cincinnati in the next couple of days. It'll be interesting. The very latest Washington, you would think he'll come back at some point. Alvarado looked good. Another nice appearance from him, throwing hard.
Correct.
But then obviously we go down to the starting pitcher, Lehigh Valley, Andrew Painter, 7 earned, 2 homers, 5.42 ERA now down there.
Yep.
So yeah, man, it's troubling. You kind of keep waiting for him to kick it in gear, and he's just kind of scuffled. So I think the possibility now of not seeing him at all this season is something real that you can talk about. With Nola coming back, there's not that need certainly in the starting rotation, and Taiwan's been serviceable. In fact, I think they might go to a 6-man and leave Walker in there, especially to give Wheeler a little more rest if that's the case. But not to get off Painter. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not ready to give up on the guy. Like, I've heard it.
The question I was going to ask you was it's been struggles.
Oh yeah,
big time struggles. They had a 4-0 lead in the first inning, and all of a sudden we looked up and it was 8-4.
Right,
and they're playing the Yankees AAA team.
Yeah, Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh man, like, is this going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, you've heard John Middleton said it. Dave Dombrowski said it. I guess people who have Tommy John surgery say, like, the velocity comes back, which it has for him, but the command is always the last thing to come back. Commanding your pitches, locating your pitches, and that hasn't come back for him on a consistent basis. So I don't think you're sounding the alarm yet. This is his first full season back.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And they ramped him up in the spring down in Clearwater, and he really didn't get his way up to AAA until I don't forget when it was, but it was certainly like in mid-May to late May. So give him a full season, and who knows? I'm not closing the door on him.
No, I'm
coming
definitely
up,
not.
But I think it's a possibility now. Whereas, before we're like, oh, July, he'll be up in some shape or form, and I don't know. Like, if he's not pitching well, that's what Rob Thompson's always said. Like, A, there's got to be a spot for him.
Bingo.
B, he has to be pitching well, and right now there's really neither of those, especially with Nola coming back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him, and we see him at some point in 26, depending on where Ranger goes in free agency, if there's that need in the rotation there. But getting ahead of ourselves. But yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing, I guess, because we were so excited to see him, and now it's certainly not looking imminent. So it is what it is. And yeah, Sunday was not a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs. They had a 4-0 lead, dude. And I don't know. Because right now you sit down and think about it, like you said, I don't know where you fit him in. I just don't know where, because like the main thing was like, okay, maybe he can come in, be in the bullpen, be that David Price type of guy coming in here and making an impact in the bullpen and then having a great career as a starter just for this season. But like we just went on a rant about how locked down this bullpen is. And I don't think in the playoffs, you're not going to see Rangers, or you're not even going to see Cristopher Sánchez, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola go like 3-4 innings and get shelled.
And you're going to have Luzardo in there. You could have Ranger in there to go in addition to the Bankses and the Stroms and the Kirkerings and the Durans, and obviously you have Romano and whoever else you need there, Robertson. But But yeah, and it wouldn't be fair to Painter, especially if he's not pitching that great. They're like, hey kid, come on up. We're gonna need you to nail down some big outs in Game 3 here. Like,
hey, that Dodger series in LA, bud, we're gonna need you to come down and strike out Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and everybody on that team in a pennant race.
Right, just because you can throw hard, like those guys can. Those guys can hit that. AAA guys are hitting that right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's we'll see. I'm certainly still high on him. I still think he's going to be a great starting pitcher. I guess a little more patience than we were expecting to have this season, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
Patience on Painter, man. Patience on Painter. And I think it is because, you sit there and you're like, it would be great to have him up here, but I don't know, man. Like you said, I just don't want to see him get shelled up here. And it is still his first full season. Like, that's the thing that people don't forget or that don't remember, that like, it's still a young kid. He's 21? He's going to turn 22, I think, in like 7 days. I think his birthday is sometime in August.
Yeah.
It's fine. Everything's it's good, but a little concerning, but I think it's okay.
In October, you're going to have Gage Wood. Your boy Gage is just, he's
ready.
Go.
Dude,
you're going to have him nailing down the last out of a World Series. Johan, Gage has got this. Stand down. Maybe Johan will be setting up for Gage.
You see his entrance music, and here comes Gage Wood instead of Duran.
Here comes Gage
Wood. That would be incredible.
But no, I think they have plenty of bullpen. That wouldn't be fair to Painter to ask him to go into the bullpen, especially late in September or certainly not October.
Exactly. I just want to wrap up by laughing at the Mets. And I know it's like one of those things where we're going to laugh at them now, and then all of a sudden the Phillies are going to go in a stretch where they lose a bunch of games and the division lead will be tied. But I think it's acceptable right now to laugh at the Mets. And the only reason I say that is because their September schedule is a grind, dude.
Really?
So I looked this up the other day. So starting on September 1st, they're in Detroit for 3-game series. They have an off day. Then they go to Cincinnati. Then they come here for a 4-game series, September 8th through the 11th.
Right. Then
they go to Texas, where the Phillies just took care of business. They have an off day. Then San Diego, the Nationals at home, and then the Cubs and the Marlins.
Wow.
Like, it's a tough September schedule. So is the Phils.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if the Phillies can get this to what? Let's say at the end of August. Let's just take it at 6 games.
Yeah.
Just a half game where they are right now. You have 21 more days left in the month.
Right.
Say you're only a half game. I think the division could be wrapped up, hopefully, by that the 3rd week of September, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, by the time the Mets get to that Marlins series, Marlins might be in 2nd place. Marlins been playing well, man.
Can you imagine that?
But yeah, no, it's crazy. And I didn't realize that schedule was that daunting in September. It's, I still think they're a talented team, and they made all these changes to the bullpen to the deadline. We're all like, oh boy. And the bullpen hasn't been good. You mentioned Diaz but lost the game in the bottom of the 9th today. Remember when the trade deadline, everyone was like, oh, even John Clark was like, I don't know, man. That Mets bullpen might be better than the Phillies right now. Yeah. They got Helsley. Everybody was excited about that. Tyler Rogers. Yeah, there's a couple, and obviously Cedric Mullins, and you're thinking, they might do some good work. But yeah, man, it's surprising to see 11 out of 12. I mean, that's more than a swoon.
Shocking,
that's a free fall.
Yeah.
And with a veteran team like that that's talented, you don't think it's going to happen. But everybody likes to say the Mets are going to Met. Much to the chagrin of our friend in the newsroom here, our editor John Piazza, who really takes the brunt of being a Mets fan around here, as you'd expect. Ricky Bo alone gets on him pretty hard. But yeah, he's had a rough couple of weeks, John.
I do feel bad for him sometimes because I'm like, oh, and he's like, I'm like, well, dude, you're sitting in this office like right now where we're all
pretty quick.
It
for
gets
good reason.
defensive. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But hey, man, you're a Mets fan. It is funny, kind of like, I don't want to use the word hatred because I feel like that's not acceptable right now, but just like my level of, I don't know, what's another word that's not as strong, but just like
disdain.
Yeah. Disdain is a good one.
Yeah.
Where like, it was the Braves for quite a while. And obviously they're struggling. They're 15-67 right now and they're toast. But now it's like that has kind of transitioned to the Mets, where it's just, there's a disdain for that team. And obviously what happened last year in the playoffs. So to see their downfall right now, I'll take it. I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, it's the rivalry. It's, in recent years, it's been back and forth. Obviously, we had the postseason last year. What happened. So, like to get them back in some form or fashion. If that's them completely collapsing and not making the playoffs, that'd be shocking to me. But it's not out of the question at the way they're going right now. But yeah, it's it's a good time we started off by saying it's been a good time to be a Phillies fan. It's a good week to be a Phillies fan, the way they kind of stretch that lead in the division. They are in the driver's seat as they head to Cincinnati, and the Mets, they got to figure it out quick, man, because it can get even uglier with that schedule coming up.
Fast. And just the fact that it's 5.5 now is crazy. I feel like in the blink of an eye. And it's deep, dude. I know people, like, in my eyes, that's a deep. I feel like some people are like, it can be make up in a week.
Yeah.
5.5 is still steep in my opinion. And if the Phillies can get this heading to Cincinnati, where it should be fun, we see Abbott again. I do want to last question though. Are you talking about who the Mets played today and this entire weekend?
Brewers.
Are you like worried about them?
I mean, they're good. And like
are they?
They do the little things well, man. That's a good manager. It's a good team. Well, we were looking at the numbers the other day. I mean, I feel like they're like 24-3 in their last 27 games or something. I may just made that up, but I think it's close to that.
It was, I forget what the stat we looked. It was like since July 6th, they were like 23-4 or something like that.
They're like close to like 30 games over 500. They've been unbelievable since the break. They were unbelievable going into the break. They've had some injuries. They got some pitching back now. But to your point, I get it. Like if you're going into a series against the Brewers with the Phillies, you think the Phillies are probably the more talented team.
Yeah.
But the Brewers just know how to win. And you thought when Craig Counsell left, there was like, they'll probably fall off. But like Pat Murphy does a great job. They're well coached. They're just a team that everybody knows their role. Different guys step up, a lot of depth on the roster. So we'll see how it all pans out in October, man. But they're cruising right now to like that top seed, and it looks like it'll go through Milwaukee. And they were in the playoffs last year. Like the Mets, nuts. They had the Mets down, and then Alonso hits that big home run. And I know I was hoping Milwaukee would win that series because I would feel a lot better at the DS last year against them than the hot Mets team, and that proved to be the case. But yeah, man, like Milwaukee's got a little playoff experience now, and they're rolling. So I think they're legit, and we'll find out how they do in the postseason. But good squad, man.
Right.
I think.
Right.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Our good buddy,
for sure.
Our good buddy still over there doing damage. I mean, they've won 9 in a row. They won 11 in a row before the All-Star or before was it the All-Star break or the trade deadline? But they won 11 in a row at some point this season. They've now won 9 in a row again. 73-44. Good Lord.
Yeah. 30 games over, man.
That's
almost.
Wild. Yeah. I'm still not worried about them. Hey, okay, anyway, here we go. Yeah. So hey, Phil's headed Cincinnati. Keep this rolling, man. Keep this rolling. 7-2, like I said, since the trade deadline. If they can get Cincinnati, and like we mentioned on the last podcast, Kyle Schwarber heading back home, hit the home run on Friday, but then kind of struggled. I mean, he's just missing pitches, but still on pace for back 50.
The launching pad. He was on pace for 58 Friday. Now I'm guessing it's down to 56 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, going home to a ballpark that everybody loves to hit at. I'm sure he loves to hit there. A lot of family probably sleep in his own bed 1 or 2 nights at home, which will be nice. So yeah, could be a big series for the Shore Baron.
It could be a big series, and hopefully it's a big series for the Phillies as well, as they get ready to continue this long road trip. They wrap up that gauntlet of American League teams going 13-8 against all these American League teams, and now finally seeing some National League teams. And the Reds, where are they in the wild card right now? They are just like a game and a half back of the Mets. Yeah. So they're going to be hungry just as much as this Phillies team, and hopefully
another good manager, by the way, with the Reds that knows his way around the postseason and getting to the postseason. So it wouldn't shock me to see the Reds weasel their way in, and if the Mets keep losing like this.
It's one of those conundrums where they're a game and a half back, but the Phillies still need to handle business. But they're a game and a half back of the Mets of the wild card team. maybe throw them a win.
Yeah,
one of these games. Give them a win, just to kind of see if they can keep knocking those or keep trying to knock the Mets out of the wild card picture. Anything else on you, buddy?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Good weekend. Good podcast. Good weekend for the Phils. Big week ahead. They keep on going. No off days this week. They just right to Cincinnati, then right to Washington. So it should be fun.
Yeah, no off days. We get a few. Thank goodness.
Yes,
we need you and I. We need a few off days here.
October's right around the corner. Got to be fresh.
That it is. So I'm
like Wheels. I might ask for like a couple of weeks just to kind of, just keep me fresh. I'm getting old too.
Honestly, we should do that.
Yeah,
we can talk to some people here and
put me on the shelf for a couple of weeks. I'll come back refreshed, revigorated.
Hit the golf course a little bit.
Exactly.
You and I, and we can figure something out. So. On that note, we'll wrap it up. Thanks, geez, goodness. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. That is Sean Kane. I'm Spencer McKercher. We'll talk to you guys after that Red series.